sideways like that, I got behind the door, and then the steps are coming and coming and coming, I hit the light. It was Cheyenne.
You never thought that it was someone from.
He had very heavy feet for
No,
being
it
up
was
that
not
high.
like one of the kids padding down the hallway, it was just like this.
Yeah, it wasn't at all.
It
It
was
was like, no,
stomping.
that's somebody coming.
Oh God.
Okay, a story with Scott.
Yeah.
Apart from falling out of a car.
I never did anything
Can't
wrong.
tell any either.
Mine are still censored. Mom
The
still
ladies leave the room.
Mom still doesn't know about it.
There was a time when Dad had a 56 Chevy. I had a 56 Chevy, I think it was, and you had a 55?
Six.
56.
Yeah.
We had
all-
3, and they were all white, I think, right?
That was
one was
after the
yellow.
yellow, ours
One
was
was
yellow
yellow.
and black, but you painted it after I wrecked it.
Yeah, I
didn't
think
you?
we painted it.
I was told one was yellow.
It
Well,
was
it was
yellow.
yellow,
and
but
black.
we repainted
Looked
it.
like a bumblebee.
And I remember getting up one morning and walking out, looking out the window and seeing the white Chevy in the driveway. And I walked in and told Mom and Dad, he says, we have company. And they're in bed, you know, it's Saturday morning. So they jump up and they're getting dressed, cleaning the house. And they're going, they're going to be at the door any minute, you know. And no one ever rang the doorbell. And Dad's looking out the window, ooh, I go, that white car. It was our yellow and black car he had painted.
Or I
We
came
weren't
home from the
told.
Army one time and wanted to borrow the car, and Greg had borrowed the car. And he brought it home, and we lived on a little, you know, the driveway came down a little bit, and he used all the gas. I ran out of gas,
Trying to
back
get-
it out of the driveway.
That was normally Karen's trick, though.
That was Karen's trick.
Use all the
she,
gas?
she could bring it home with like about
I did never
Ford.
hardly ever
And
get
she
to
still
take the
can.
car.
not enough gas to get to the gas
You
station.
should bring it home in an eighth.
Yeah.
It's a perfected order.
Overtime.
Okay, a story with Greg.
I remember, story about Greg, I'll tell you the neatest one about Greg. We had 3 lawns around the house, and we had 3 boys, so each boy had a lawn. And they all had to cut their lawn before Sunday, so before we went to church. And Greg probably remembers this. And Greg was in the temple pageant or something, that he was going something to church, and he thought, well, maybe I can get out of cutting this lawn, you know?
And he had the smallest lawn.
He had the
Yeah.
small lawn.
Dennis had the
Biggest table.
front. Yeah, the
Dennis
lawn
had the-
was about as wide as this table and twice as long. I mean,
It
the
was little.
huge lawn, you know?
Yeah, Dennis had the big lawn, and Scott had the side lawn and
Side
Great.
back.
Side back.
side back.
And Greg had the one with asparagus growing in it.
Yeah, that's right. And he says, well, can't I go, and let it go till Monday? And I said, no. He says, well, this is important that I go to this church events, wasn't it? And I said, yeah. He says, well, can I let it go
Tommy
till
always cut your lawn.
later? And by this time, the sun is going down. He says, can I let it go? And I gave him the flashlight.
No way, huh?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm in England, and I have to fly back to California, and I tell Zach, you gotta mow the lawn. We have an electric lawnmower there. And
Yeah.
so I'm getting ready to come on a plane. I said, Zach, you mowed the lawn. Oh, yeah, Dad, don't worry about it. Take care of it. Well, you know, in California, it's still light, but in England, it's dark. I get home 7 in the morning and look at the lawn. It's just as beautiful as can be. It's perfect. I'm really proud of Zach. The next weekend, I go in and I go out to the shed, pull the lawnmower out, and he's got 2 flashlights duct taped to the handles. So after we talked, he went out and loaded my flashlight.
Isn't there a story about how my dad didn't want to paint the garage door and somehow talked his friends into doing
Well,
it?
that
Did
was
that
the
a
trailer.
lot.
That was the trailer. We used to have a big boat trailer, and I said, well, we gotta go skiing. And I said, well, we need the boat trailer painted. So I think you got assigned to paint the trailer. Well, he had a friend, Tommy,
Poor
Dude.
Tommy did all his work.
and,
All his work.
he did a Tom Sawyer on Tommy. You know.
I was going to say, this story sounds familiar.
He thought that was the fifth
Yeah.
scripture of the church was getting somebody else to
You make it sound like it's fun.
He still
You've
does
read Tom
that.
Sawyer way too many times.
I can totally see that.
Okay, I got a fun one about
Well,
Dad.
tell the one about Greg running away from home.
Oh, that was,
And the
that was
wagon.
you.
No, that was him.
Was it
Yeah,
Greg?
he got mad. He was going to run away from home, and he packed the wagon.
Packed the whole red wagon.
and he took him, 4 hours to get to the end of the street. We're looking out
We're
the
all
window, and he's going,
watching.
all right, he's leaving, let's go. And he says, you guys don't want to make me stop? No, you can go. And he goes down the street, and then he stops, and he has a sandwich. He's made one, like one driveway. Then he goes down a little bit more and opens up his little thermos and has some juice. And I think by noon, he was maybe at the end of the block, and he's waiting for somebody to come and get him, but we weren't, you know. We weren't.
And then it rained. There was one drop, and he was back.
I can't go away, it's raining.
Tomorrow.
He put it off till
But you
tomorrow.
had a teddy bear in your wagon or
Well,
something.
whatever, that's not ringing any bells. We had friends, the Hendersons, and they had pigeons, and we always thought it was pretty cool to play with the pigeons. And one day, my dad's off, and I guess it was during the summer, and I figured, well, we ought to have pigeons in our house also. And because we had a lot of spare, chicken wire and stuff, and so in a couple of hours, I'm able to build a pigeon coop in a lean-to fashion right next to their bedroom window, and right off of the garage on the back deck. And for some odd reason, my dad made me tear it down the same day. It was an improvised pigeon coop right off of the...
Where did you get the pigeons? Did you just borrow the Hendersons' pigeons?
Yeah, they loaned me some.
Now,
They
Scott and
know.
Greg had opposite luck. Scott bought a hydroplane, cleaned it up, painted it.
Built it with Grandpa Clark.
Yeah, it was all it was
It was
candy-
Flake red.
metal flake red,
You had
beautiful.
windows in there.
And he had it in the garage, and I had a little dinghy that was suspended from the roof above it. He sold it, and by the time the guy got to the house, my dinghy collapsed onto his.
Oh, no.
The guy came over, looked at it, he says, how much you want? I go, $500. He goes, I'll go to the bank, comes back, and there's a hole right through it.
Oh no.
Now Greg is out on his
For
paper
300,
route.
didn't you?
He sees a hydroplane leaning up
Yeah.
against someone's fence. Got it for what?
I got
Almost
it for $15.
for 15.
A what?
Brings it home with all these ambitions. Leans it up against the fence for a couple years, and then turns around, sells it, makes a couple $100
No,
on it.
I got it for 35. I painted it myself, and the guy took it out, launched it, and it sunk. But it was as is, where is, and so I was good.
Practicing that lawyer stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I remember when he was a kid, he could talk himself out of everything, and I remember saying, you ought to be an attorney. I said, you can talk yourself out of anything.
I like hearing there was a story about, I guess, when you guys would have pie at the end of dinner, and whoever cut it was the last person to pick the piece.
Oh,
So it'd be
There was
this
always
big
a fight.
argument.
So there were 6 of us. So we got it precision cutting because whoever cut got last pick. So they had to be perfectly even so you didn't screw yourself.
Well,
We
I get
could
this.
cut the pie perfect.
I get the story from Grandma how they go in there one day and all the kids are around the table. There's a compass, a ruler, and they're dividing this pie up.
I got stuck babysitting all the time, and so we'd be watching TV when they go do something. But I learned a trick. I had 2 advantages. One, I was the oldest; I could send them to bed. And 2, if I oversalted the popcorn, nobody else wanted to eat it.
That's why the popcorn was always too salty.
Who was
That's
that
where
girl we
salty
talked
tooth
into
comes
cooking
from.
French fries that caught the house on fire? Mom,
Deanna Koval?
yeah, Mom and Dad went out to eat or go to a church thing, and Deanna was over there at her house and said, oh, the way you make French fries, my mom just fills that pot up with grease, get it boiling, and throw the potatoes in it, and the kitchen caught on fire. Didn't you guys come home with a fire truck in the driveway?
Oh no.
I don't remember.
It's like every parent's.
That's how you got the new kitchen.
No, that was our babysitter was cooking something
I
too.
think it was
The
Deanna
one
Colville.
time. No, the Linda something or whatever her
Oh, I
name was.
remember the babysitter,
And she was cooking bread or something that caught on fire.
Yeah.
But the worst one is we'd get spanked with this. We had a yardstick, and the yardstick would break. So anyway, we got a new washer, and so we had the washer hose. Well, Greg didn't like the washer hose, so my mom was always baking, stuff. But for some reason, he picked the oven as a place to hide the rubber washer hose. That stunk the house up.
I remember that babysitter was engaged But
Oh,
she
yeah.
had another boyfriend that would come over to the house and she'd take the engagement ring off and talk. So we hid her engagement ring so she couldn't put it back on when he left.
I don't remember that.
So I remember hiding her
him wondering
engagement
where
ring.
Well, I remember I had a big
She was a
to do
hussy.
with her because she wouldn't let me have peanut butter, so I stole the peanut butter jar, ran up the backyard, hid in the weeds, and ate the whole damn jar of peanut butter before I'd come back.
I can remember, do you remember those forts that you guys had at the top of the hill?
We used to dig the underground forts.
No, I meant you had between the two pine trees. These were above ground
Oh, yeah.
forts. I can remember we were playing up there, and I wanted to get in your hammock, and you guys tied me up in the hammock, and then you went home and ate, and then you left me tied up in the hammock.
Oh, I gotta tell you a story about Dad. We're out here, and his dryer vents gets all clogged up. So I have him hold the ladder so that I can, because I don't like going up, from the roof to from the ladder to the roof or vice versa. So he holds the ladder. I go up. I'm cleaning up the vent and stuff. I come back to get off, and there's no Dad. And it's call, no Dad. Fortunately, we have cell phones now.
Yeah.
Well, he got off onto something else and come in the house. And so I had to call him on the cell phone to come back outside to hold the ladder for me.
Stranded.
He forgot, got off onto something else.
Wait, why
Left
don't
me on the roof.
why don't you tell the story about ownership is unclear about a boat, ownership unclear
Oh,
that
yeah.
sank in the back, and as
Yeah, part
soon
of
as
the
it sank,
bribery-
it was
Yeah.
someone else's.
Part of the bribery when Dad was thinking about getting here, I found this really neat old lap straight fiberglass boat. And so I bought it and cleaned it all up, and so when he came out I said, "This is yours." And it had a IO in it and stuff. But the
that old
boat
Shamrock.
had a bad design because the floor was lower than the water when you were going, when the stern went down.
Yeah.
That meant the scuppers were really close to the water. And if it rained real hard and the water didn't drain out, then it would get heavy and the water would start coming in the scuppers. So you had to make sure the battery stayed charged. So I bought a new boat. Gave Dad the boat. We brought it over here, put it behind the house. And we had some heavy rains and the battery got down. It's his boat. I'd gone off to pick up my new boat and bring it home. And I'm up there and I get this phone call. He says, "Hey Dennis, your boat sank." Not his boat anymore, it's my boat now that it's sank.
If it's on top of the water, it's mine. If it's under, it's yours. That's a good deal.
What gave it back?
But he and Mom were out there bailing it out, trying to save the boat.
Yeah, I go down and I run the bilge pump, get it level, but it was just rained out too much overnight, I guess.
Yeah.
It wasn't completely sunk, but it was full of water.
It was enough that it wasn't your boat anymore.
Past the line.
Up to the engine, the generator, I guess.
The starter.
The starter, yeah.
That was at Shamrock, right?
It wasn't a Shamrock.
No, it was
The Shamrock's
it
out
was
there
a
now.
double ender.
Yeah, it was a double ender, lap strake boat. It was
Really?
kind of cool looking
It was
boat.
a nice looking hull.
Yeah.
I remember that boat.
It had a little engine, a small engine in it.
Yeah.
It was that little wine and cheese boat.
Yeah.
Harbor boat?
Yeah, it was a great little canal boat.
Yeah, just a little.
He ended up selling it to the guy
Canal
at
boat that
mechanic over.
Say he didn't sell it. Now I'm
Dad
selling
picked
it
up
to a
one.
mechanic. Basically got it for salvage rights, like $500 or something.
Did you get 2,500 for it, something like that?
What?
You got 2,500 for it, didn't you?
Something. It was.
Wasn't very
Did you
much.
tell him to keep it on a trailer, not in the water?
Oh, he had it right at his dock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't have a lift.
yeah. No, I meant the new guy.
No, the guy was he wanted the boat because he wanted the hull.
Yeah. And he was gonna put a better motor in it and stuff.
Yeah.
He needed.
But the design was just a little bit, instead of having a cockpit that totally drained itself, it drained into the bilge and had to be pumped out. But once it got heavy, then the scuppers would go under. And when you were running the boat, the
Yeah.
deck was just too low. And when it went stern down, all at once you had this water coming in around your feet.
Yeah, that's
It looked good, but you know.
So, Mom, do you have a good story to tell on Dad?
No,
I'm really unsure.
she don't know anything.
Anything that I can tell.
No.
That was funny about the dog though. I got a ticket, I had to go to court to defend my dog being on, Gregory's dog being on the street. And so I was just real ticked off because several people had had their mailboxes knocked off the post.
Somebody putting firecrackers on?
No, they go drive along the street, you know, and they
Baseball.
Oh.
And then while they're driving, they knock them off. They play baseball against the mailboxes.
But I told him, I said, you know, you don't have, all of these people before me, they said, is this your dog? Yes. Was it on the street? Yes. Do you know that's against the law? Yes. Well, you will be fined so much money. And so my attorney came up and I said, before you say anything, could I say something? And I said, I will not tie that dog up. I said, I won't do it because it protects our cat.
It does.
I said,
The
no.
cat used to lay down right in front of the dog's feet.
I
We had a
said,
cat, wasn't the problem we had the cat killed on our front porch?
that was after that.
A neighbor, another cat?
I know, I think it's the same cat, but anyway.
Futsy? No,
The
Futsy
guy-
got in the
judge
car.
Yeah.
Trying real hard to keep a straight face. And he said, well, do you know that you will be fined if the dog gets out again? I said, yes, I know, I will pay the fine, but I will not tie up the dog. I said, okay, fine.
And they dismissed the charges.
Yeah,
On
well,
what grounds? Just he protected Futsy.
There you go. There's a garbage can.
Because they just simply gave a good reason. But wasn't there a time once when somebody came over, Greg, and they were beating you up, and Futsy literally jumped up on the back of that person? Like
Futsy?
claws in the back of that person's back?
I remember Chip protecting